What's going on, family? You back in the lab with Abrew Yashar'el, man. We talking about Section 8 today. This particular clip was sent to me from Boston, Massachusetts, so I guess they're talking about the Massachusetts area. But this federal government of Section 8 will affect the whole country. And so let's see what he said, and then we'll get into it, man.
That could affect people using Section 8 housing programs. Voucher holders locally have received letters warning them of federal funding being halted and potential rent increases. Western Mass News reporter Matt Price did some digging for us on this, and he joins us live from downtown Springfield with more. Matt?
Chris, this just adds to the drama of so much uncertainty many face across this country. That includes those who rely on these vouchers for safe and affordable housing. On March 13th, the Commonwealth's Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities sent a letter to Section 8 voucher holders, warning them that their rent in the next year or two might go up because of, quote, rising costs and insufficient federal funding. And the agency will have to stop its flexible tenant policies. Here's some of what is stated in this letter obtained by Western Mass News this afternoon. It says, quote, unfortunately, we can no longer afford to offer many of these special policies to our participants, and will have to return to using many of the same policies that most other housing authorities use. The letter goes on to say, we understand that will increase costs for many households, but we made these choices to ensure that our program can serve as many households as possible given limited federal funding. Now, for context, here are some of those policy changes. EOHLC will no longer pay for a household security deposit, no more earned income deduction in rent calculation, no utility allowances for hot water and cooking, no extra grace period for lower payment standard changes, and $480 of a full-time student's income will be counted. Advocacy groups are keeping their eyes on these recent developments, including Arise for Social Justice here in Springfield. Housing and economic justice advocate and organizer Liz Busey says these changes will have a strongly negative impact and fears current Section 8 voucher holders are scared and are currently looking for other resources to survive.
30 days notice is not enough to try and supplement your income. And supplementing your income is going to get you in trouble because you can't, not legally anyways. And so people are going to be suffering left and right. They're already looking for food pantries. I've had 3 calls about whether we have any utility money to help people pay, and that's just this morning.
Busey says this move could also mean an increase in evictions and homelessness. She also tells us the number of people sleeping in cars at the moment is going up. Right now, Arise for Social Justice is collecting tents in case people need to sleep outside, and they are collecting information about services in the area. EHOLC says the changes will go into effect on or after May 1st at the voucher holders' next regular or interim rent certification. We tried reaching out to EHOLC for comment on this matter, but we did not hear back. Stick with us both on air and online as we continue to follow the latest. Reporting live in downtown Springfield, Matt Price, Western Mass News.
So I was listening to this, man, and I'm hearing several things that jumped up out at me. Was they said they're collecting tents, so if people have to sleep outside. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is disappointing. Like I said, this is up in Massachusetts, but it's happening all over the world, the United States, I should say. And there's no way. We're supposed to be the richest nation on earth. Let me say that. Why is people having to collect tents just in case people have to sleep outside? Why is people having to sleep in their cars? You know what I mean? I understand a lot of abuse goes on in the government programs. And a lot of it is due to our elected officials and abuse. But there's no way people should go without shelter. I've been looking at the homeless population, man, in California and the homeless population here in Georgia and just around the globe, man. And why are people homeless, man? Why we don't have tiny home communities to put these people in, man? We give so much money to other countries and other nations. And when the Bible says charity starts at home, we need to be taking care of home first. And that's the disappointing part. Yes, I understand people been on Section 8 for generations. I understand grandma might have been on it. She passed it down to mama. Mama passed it down to you. You plan on passing it down to your kids. Color. See, when people think about these welfare programs, they think about Negro people or Black folk. It's a lot of other nationalities on these programs, these government programs, more than you think. Actually, if you pull the statistics, it's more white folk on these programs than Negro. But we are quickly pointed out as far as the poor and poverty-stricken people. And like I said, man, I know a guy who was sleeping on a park bench because he said he couldn't afford housing, he didn't have a car, and he couldn't even afford a gym membership to go take a hot shower. So he was going to the shelters every day. He was like, the type of abuse that was going on is no place for a woman and child. But it's a lot of women and their children have to be in these places, man. You talking about bed bugs, you talking about criminals, you talking about just people doing heinous stuff. And so when I look back over it, all the financial, when you pull up and say, hey, how much money that we send to these other countries? I understand countries got problems too, but if we bring some of that money back here, can we build something to get our homeless population off the street? Can we build something to get our people back working? Now, I understand people have to elect to do better, you know what I mean? But I think a lot of people that's homeless just need a shot, just need an opportunity. A lot of people, that's all they need, just one opportunity, and they'll go and make some of themselves. A leg up, you know what I mean? But like I'm trying to do with my kids, get them a leg up in life. I don't want my kids to leave my home and go to struggling. So just give people, and I try to reward people on the street. I try to buy food and I try to do everything. I wish I could have a complex and put people in and try to help and give people a shot at life. But my government got the resources. And why my government is not helping people, and maybe they are helping people and people just abusing the system, I don't know. But this is a sad situation to see that people might be on the street, man, might be on the street out of housing, bro, because you're going to lose your Section 8 voucher. And a lot of people paying zero rent, $30 a month, $8 a month, and yes, they got a boyfriend living in there, and they balling out of control. I understand the abuse, but at the same time, nobody should be homeless in this country, and nobody should go hungry in this particular country, man. And with that said, man, let's go to the next video of this lady who's like, she ain't giving up her Section 8. You know, she been on this a long time, and she finna live her best life. So why she want to give it up? So let me click on it right here, and let me tell y'all. Oh, sorry. Tell me what y'all think of her.
Hi, my fellow people, and this is for the ones keep talking about get off Section 8. I have some reasons of why to stay on Section 8. Because one, ain't nobody asked us to go have these kids. And ain't nobody asked us to tell us that life was going to be hard back then. That it's easier now. So as a mother, I raised all my kids and I raised them well. And they all are grown. And I'll be damned why it's time for me to live my life. I'm going to give my Section 8 because you choose to do the wrong thing by going out getting charges under your name, getting apartments under your name, and doing things that ain't had nothing to do with you under your name. So why I got to give up my Section 8? Because I did all the right things. And it ain't Section 8, ain't no more zero rent, ain't no $5 rent. These people don't went up like market rent. So you think I'm gonna give up my Section 8 because y'all say I've been on it a long time? As long as I got life, I'ma stay on my Section 8. Yeah, me, I'ma stay on my Section 8. So y'all get off that by you too old to be on Section 8. No, you too old to be talking about Section 8. Well, you build some apartments and some houses and say I can live there. Then I'll get my Section 8. Until then, leave me and my Section 8 alone. And you have a nice day.
Now, in certain cases, I do believe people just lazy, people selfish. Let me say that. But if you have an opportunity to get on Section 8 and be on it for years and years and years, you should have some type of funding. I understand they say, I think they check your bank account. You can't have over a certain amount of money or whatever. But listen, you need to utilize Section 8 to better yourself. It shouldn't be a generation of poverty-stricken programs that I'm just going to stay on this because I got cheap rent. I can pay $50 a month and live here. No, man. These programs should be put in place to elevate you, to better yourself. It's not a crutch, man. And I think some people get on these programs and look at it as a crutch. And that's why I really like what Trump signed. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but he was like, hey, you only got 2 years on this program. Let's see. So if you got 2 years on this program, you should be in that 2 years window trying to better yourself. You should be trying to get a skill under your belt to go out here and make a honest living. I understand a lot of people now, if you're disabled, I understand that you can't do anything, whether it's mental or physical. You just Section 8 is for you. But if you're an able-bodied man and you're just lazy and you just want to lay on your back and have kids to stay on this thing and get welfare or food stamps or whatever, yeah, you need to be kicked off. You should be kicked off. Now, I understand that to put a lot of people in a bad situation. I do understand that. Because desperate people do desperate things during desperate times. I understand that. But at the same time, go better yourself. I would never want to put myself in a situation where I got to depend on somebody to take care of me. That's a bad place to be because you just put them over you. You just made them your master. Let me just say that. So with that said, man, I'm Abrew Yashar'el, man. What y'all think about the end of Section 8 vouchers? They're cutting back. I think he cut back like 26 or $30 billion out of that program. So it's a lot of people finna be hurting in the next few years, man. And it's gonna be disappointing to see people sleeping outside or in their cars or shacking up with somebody just to have a place to stay. But with that said, man, I'm Abrew Yashar'el. Until next time, y'all be good. Later.